with the camera. It's dangerous when we film with the camera. Hey, I gotta. Am I in focus? Where am I? Guys, we moved things around and we did things up. I swear I turned on my headphones for things. Cool beans. Let's push buttons. Whoop, wait. We were mucking around with the things yesterday. Oh, I hope I have sound. Do I have sound? Is there sound? Oh my goodness, who's gotten here? We've got Nikki, Susanna, Jen. Oh, too many scrolled by. I can't do it. I apologize for the camera orientation. I was changing my background yesterday, and we got to get some things out for the background change. But why did you? There we are. Because it just wasn't registering correctly. Okay, I can live with that. Sound checks. Terrible microphone. That's exciting. I'm still having problems with getting my good microphone to register. So we are on terrible microphone. But I think we need to turn on additional lights because we are very dark. We're very dark. Okay, step one. And I have the sinking suspicion I'm going to start getting messages here right away. Nope, I want this one. Who am I talking to? Nope. Not the person I need to be talking to. There we go. What are you doing, phone? Terrible, guys. Hello. Oh, look, I see Jude. Jude, your icon is different than everybody else's, so I can see that. So let's see what happens when I do this. Does that add enough extra light? This is what happens when you change your stuff around. Everything gets harder to work with. Okay. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Maybe. Maybe. What do we got here? Asa. Yes, it's a new camera angle. Asa, I've got Discord open because I still couldn't get the web camera, the webinar mic to work properly today. I'm taking a look at setting up some overlays and doing a bunch of techie computer stuff so that we're streaming through a different platform to YouTube, which would give me more control over changing things up so that I can hopefully get off this microphone situation I'm on, which is not good, guys. Thank you, Asa. Everybody, I love your very light white icons. Jude, yours is the only icon I can tell the difference from, so I saw that you got in here. It's different enough because it's just the dark color with your letter on your name, which perfect. It works great. So hello, it's Sunday. We made it. I apologize for the lack of makeup and being a bit late. I couldn't figure out why I was having so many sneezing fits this past week and a bit. Turns out, with the change to medications, I think I can now actually smell my foundation and it is setting me off. So I have a half a bottle of foundation I can't use anymore, and I'm going to have to go to try and find a new foundation brand that I can use to wear makeup. So my life just got interesting this week. Should be good. Should be good. Sandy, that's who I missed. Hey, Sandy, how's it going? Loud sound notice. I gotta open up a bevy. All right, we got lots to talk about. I have some drama because, of course, I have some drama. Uh, if we see Erin hanging out in chat, don't forget to say thanks to Erin. Hopefully, my microphone isn't terribly in the way. She helped do the background. I can't. This did not happen on my own. This requires a lot of visual acuity, and praise be to the Erin who was patient enough to come help me do this. And for us to discover exactly how many sweater quantities of yarn I have, and the answer is, oh, more than I thought. The answer is more than I thought. Okay. Oh, Medlin, I'm glad you're with me because I am not looking forward to it. It took me years to find a good one that I didn't react to, like my skin didn't break out in a rash or my nose didn't like it. So I'm settling in for another years long fight to get a foundation that doesn't cause my allergies or my skin to double middle finger me aggressively. However, that did mean that I had to, at 11:40, shower because there was no other way to remove it from all of my skin without having even a little bit left on my skin to react to. So I had an impromptu shower just before live today, not of my own making. However, I have hot water in the building, which has not been the case all week. So at least I could have a shower, which was really helpful. It was super helpful. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh. Oh. Dude, that's amazing. It's always nice when you get a friend to help. Oh, awesome. Erin would like some notes. So if there's stuff you guys think needs to be zhuzhed to let her know, mostly because it looks good to me, but I don't see enough. So if you see something in the background, besides the dark corner, she's aware that there's a dark corner. She wants to fix that. She's just not sure how. There was a lot of swearing because my camera autofocuses, getting it to back up to see everything. She was, it was an interesting time yesterday for us. Um, You know what? Let's just do the testnet talk first. The Choose Your Own Adventure sweater testnet's ongoing. The testers are, of course, ahead of me because, of course, they're ahead of me. This time around, I decided to opt for the garter stitch rest option and both texture options. Now, I've knit the sweater and I've tested the sweater out. So, like, I have done a lot of Choose Your Own Adventure sweater knitting. This version is going to be one of the finalized versions that I take pictures of for the final pattern release. But I mucked up my garter. So like, don't worry, I have the ability to screw up my own pattern. It's great. So I had to rip back and restart my ribbing. So I don't have as much to show you guys as I wanted to because it's not like I can wait to show you where I mucked up. I forgot to knit garter, so we were knitting garter, and then I was knitting stockinette for a while, and then I started knitting garter again, and then I realized I knit some rows of stockinette, which that's not going to work. So I had to pull that out. So we're back into my ribbing. Oh boy, ribbing, which I'm not a huge fan of, even when it's my favorite kind of ribbing. And this is my favorite kind of ribbing, which is 1x1 twisted rib. It is my favorite type of ribbing. Does not release any pattern information for you guys. So I've got, oh my God, what do I got going on here? I think I got my tail hanging in weird places. Anyway, I got a very small collar section going on, and extra yarn floating around because this, of course, has gone into a bag. So, of course, it's messed up. So I have ribbing. I'm almost back to 2 inches of ribbing. Why? Because I cannot think in fingering weight yarn. I cannot see what I'm doing in fingering weight yarn. So if I make big mistakes and I can feel them, I must rip back to start. So that is what I did. Oh joy. So tragic. I wanted to be well on my way towards splitting for sleeves. I wanted to be through my first texture section today. Nope, nope. I got through the garter and realized I'd screwed up real big. So, praise be to testers who are better knitters than I am, and that is just how that's going to function. However, this is one of my two colors. This is going to be a two-color sweater. The other one is some beautiful white, gray, bone chilling from Erin of Highway Fabric Co. I remember the name for this one. This is one of the, I want to say like vampire line ones from Ginger Snap That. I have the second balls. It's just me and reading ball band yarns, right? So I made sure to write down notes when I made the pattern page for this to note what yarn this is. Like I can almost read it because she's got these beautiful labels in big print, right? But oh, Jude, I'm glad you had a good shoulder week. Yes, knitting on a smaller size, just go a little bit faster than knitting on the larger sizes. So this is the other skein of yarn from Ginger Snap that I'll be using. So it's going to be a very strong contrast color rotation, which is what I like to do. And it is one of the ways you can make the Choose Your Own Adventure sweater. So not a lot to show, unfortunately. However, It is what it is, and we're gonna make do. I'm sorry, my nose is still coming down off of its wonderful, not wonderful, allergic reaction to everything under the sun. All right. I'm so mad about that. It's a freaking $24 bottle of foundation I can't use. Ugh, gross. Gross. Gross, guys. Oh, my week wasn't going too bad till the hot water in the building decided it needed to be broken, and then very large swaths of my day went to other tasks. Because then everything had to be boiled off the top of the stove before anything could happen. And dishes have to happen. Bathing of the human had to happen. So my to-do list got a little skewed this week, and that's fine. In the realm of just so many sweaters. All it is sweaters and mittens, guys. I've been slowly progressing on the wood woes that I've been working on for the last little bit. It is the I have no brain cells, but I want to knit because I'm anxious knitting, or I'm out at appointments, or I'm doing other adulting stuff. So we have, ooh, that's really warm for Calgary in the middle of winter, Susanna. Gosh, that's just insane. I have been making progress on the body. I did finish the second sleeve. So we have, this week I did 2 inches and a bit. As you can see, I'm marking my inch rotations. This body is very, 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 very long. It's very long for a reason. It's knit at a lot of negative ease around the chest. So I lose a ton of length when I put it on. So rather than the standard 22 inches from the underarm, I'm closer to 24 to 26 inches. Like there's a bunch of extra length added to accommodate for the fact that when it goes over the girls, we lose a bunch of that length. However, as you can see super awkwardly, I do have 2 pinned finished sleeves. Why? Because I got annoyed because they were flapping about, falling out, and causing me problems when I was rotating my sweater. So I stitch marker clipped them to the collar so they would stay out of my way. It's fun. It has served me well. I had a couple of appointments this week that I went out to. I took this with me, and this is my current. I'm sitting in a waiting room. I'm going to work on this project, which is fine. I'm into ball 3, so I used most of ball 3 for my sleeves. So we're using up the last of ball 3. I still have one more full skein that I haven't wound up yet. I'm 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 gonna have to dip into skein 4. I'm gonna have to dip into skein 4, but I don't think by a lot. I saved a bunch of yarn by only knitting the elbow length sleeves. So I'm actually going to take a look at some of the 3 skeins I have. Like I have some 3 skein bundles. I'm going to take a look at making 50-inch bust looser fitting draped sweaters and elbow length sleeves and see if I can do an elbow length sleeve or a short sleeve on 3 skeins of fingering yarn. I know I need 4 skeins in and about Erin's yardage or meterage to get a basic sweater. More if I want cables or lace, obviously, because that eats up more yarn. But slow and steady progress continues, which means I might have this ready to wear in late spring, which would be really nice because it'll go really pretty with some of my skirts. However, it's boring, it's body work, it's stockinette, it's in the round, and quite frankly, when you're at the doctor's office or you're waiting at the vampires, it's perfect. Because there's no thinking involved. Oh my goodness. All the things. Woo! Oh my God. Jude, go get the fresh bread. Oh, jealous. I don't have fresh bread. I made tortillas yesterday. Does that count as fresh bread? Oh, my brain just went, oh, fresh bread with a little bit of butter, a little bit of honey. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I might have lunch on the mind, guys. Bubbles! I'm so excited for June's bread. Oh, sounds great. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to save the 2 week sweater drama to last because that's just quite annoying. I did work on and finish one of the mittens for my sister this week. We had our family Christmas just not this past week, but the week before. My parents were able to come down to town and visit. So I had made mittens for my niece, and I had my sister, I asked her to put them on. I was immediately told that the mittens made for my niece were a little too small circumference for my sister and too short in the length of the hand. To which I replied, they're not for you, they're for your child. And your child has thinner arms and shorter fingers, like thinner hands and shorter fingers than you do. My niece's hand is thinner than mine, but about the same length. My sister's hand is not quite my width, but longer in the finger. She's got those fancy piano fingers going on. However, she liked the kids' mittens, and I said, okay, cool. I will make your red mittens to go with your brioche cowl and hat set to match. It was going to be a crochet difference, but I couldn't get a pair of brioche mittens to work really well with a lining in them, and I do want to line them. So I needed a bit more flexibility on the hop. So I made my sister actually this is big for me and too long because I'm going to line these, but this gives me a lot more foldability and a lot more maneuverability going on. Like my sister's hands just I feel like my hand's getting dwarfed in these mittens, and that's just kind of how it has to be. So I need to sew in my tops. Gotta sew in my top pieces. But I have one mitten done. I need to sew it in. I need to aggressively wash and block this so that it's ready for some lining. And I do have the second mitt past the thumb gusset, I believe. These are a pair of crochet mittens. The pattern is, I think, Swedish for mittens. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. And then I've got the ball of yarn shoved in here. It says mittens beside it. I should have found the link for Asa so she could drop it in the chat for everybody. I should have done that. Okay. Yikes. When we get chatting about the 2 week sweater and we've got some questions and debates to go on, I will try to find the link for these mittens for you guys. So it is crocheted. It is not a bulky. It is a folded ribbed hem. So it's got a nice double thick hem situation going on there, or cuff, collar, whatever you want to call it. And then it's single crochet through the back loops. It's a free pattern. We can talk about it, guys. And that's great. I did add more chain stitches and skipped more stitches for the thumb gusset. I find thumb gussets really tight no matter what size of mitten it is. Or style. I find thumb gussets need to be bigger than we make them. And then now I'm working up the hand length for the second mitten for my siblings. So once I've got the second mitten done, I'm going to wash and block these, line them, and then they can go out to my sister, who I said, quite frankly, we live in the same town. I focused on getting my mom, my dad, and my niece's stuff done because they don't live in the same town. My sister's husband can come pick these up at some point on the way home from work one week. So we were not worried about getting them to her. But it is something I did work on. However, as much as I should have, no, no. I'm trying to find places on the floor to drop things. It's getting interesting. No, that's later. Happiness is fresh bread. I'm with you, Jude. Happiness is fresh bread. One more thing. It was a crafting week. I had a lot of downtime while I was boiling water, so I did some crafting. I made some progress on the herringbone cardigan, shrug cardigan. It was January's crochet challenge for the crochet group. It's a very large project. I am doing. You can search it on Ravelry as the herringbone cardigan by Crochet with Carrie. If you look it up on her website, it is. She has a Gaelic name for it, which Gaelic is a beautiful language. I will not butcher it. I will not butcher it. I cannot speak it. It's not a thing I can do. But it is a very large, oversized shrug cardigan situation. So full on cocoon cardigan going on here. I made the largest size, which is for a 52-inch bust, which works out to be something like 54 inches with positive ease. So given that I have a 48-inch upper bust, this is big. Like we are comfortably 10 inches close to size range in 8 to 10. What's the math on that? 89, 51, 52, 53, 54. Yeah, 6+ inches of ease. I've got 6+ inches of ease going on. I think it's closer to 8 because I'm a little off gauge. It's used a lot more yarn than I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to just dip into my Pound of Love white that I had in addition to the sugar powdered sugar Karen cakes that I had. But oh, we're eating through that white pound of love aggressively. I did finally make it to the end of the rectangle. We seamed the rectangle. We put sleeves on this bad boy. I'm gonna hold it up here. I can't hold all of it up in one shot. There's too much cardigan. It's too much cardigan. We've got sleeves, sleeves, excellent. We've got some seaming, excellent. What she has you do next, and again, I am loving this herringbone stitch. It's a modified half double crochet. It's so easy to work up. So I'm not upset that there's more to work on. Oops, I missed a comment there. I'm not upset there's more to work on. You have a little bit of complications with adding to the bottom. So she has you add length to the bottom of the cardigan, and the explanation, it's not terrible, but you really do need to watch the video tutorial. So I think there's something in the video tutorial that I didn't get. Like there's a visual cue I absolutely missed. So it definitely bogged me down trying to figure out the placements for my stitch markers for the section where I'm just adding length to the bottom half of the cardigan. I think I've got it in the right spot. Mine might look a little different from the finished project because I've had to sort of semi-guess what's going on with it. But I'm adding length to the bottom for a cover more of the upper thigh, not just the butt range, which is really cool. I do like it. These aren't significantly shorter because you're still going around nearly 3/4 of the of the row. So like I'm still crocheting a lot. I'm 6 rows into 12-row repeat. I did the first 6 rows and then I realized I had somehow picked up the wrong crochet hook and I wasn't using a 6.5 crochet hook. I was using a 5 mm crochet hook. So my herringbone texture was incredibly dense. Had to rip it all out and start again. Should have labeled this week's podcast the week where everything gets ripped. Fine, whatever. I was working on it Saturday morning. I worked on it a little bit on Thursday and on Wednesday. So this is one of those I've been puttering with it as I've had time to sit down and listen to the news and catch up on podcasts. But these are still quite long rows, and I'm not quite done yet. Once I've got the last 6 rows added to this, I then need to do the collar because we're not done. This is a much larger project than I thought it was. Much larger project than I thought it was going to be. I needed to do 22 or 24 rows of half double crochet through the back loop to get a ribbing style collar. You need to add the collar. The base of your rectangle just sits on your shoulders. Like any motion and it's going to fall off. You need all of that collar to keep the shrug cardigan on. So I absolutely need to do the collar and I need to do it to the specifications of the pattern because of the sheer oversized drape effect that you're looking for. So I still have a lot of very long rows to go. Thankfully, the collar is only to the bottom of, this is really hard to describe. So I've got imagine there's 6 more rows onto the end of this. The collar isn't worked all the way around. The collar is only worked from the bottom of the rows you added around the top part of your cardigan to the bottom of where you added rows on the other side, and then you go back and forth that way. So while they will be long rows, as this isn't quite the full length of one front piece yet, I got 6 more rows got to be added. I'm using a lot of white yarn. At this point, I am almost out of powdered snow. I've been interchanging the powdered snow with the 1 pound white because they're slightly different whites, so it looks intentional. So we've got the different variations of whites going on throughout the whole cardigan. So I'm going to finish this tail end in the 1 pound love white, and then I will start in powdered snow for the collar, and then I will switch to the 1 pound to finish it. But I have easily got an obscene quantity of yardage going on in here. Like I'm going to have to weigh this to the gram to figure out how much I used because I've used so much. I've used so much. I'm grateful that the sleeves were nice and short because obviously the cocoon part goes to like your elbows, so you really are only making half a sleeve for your arm. So I gotta, I gotta, we're getting there. It's going to be a lot of white. It doesn't mean that I can't. I thought about changing colors for the collar to give it like a nice little trim edge detailing. I don't know if I'm going to do that. If I do, I really can only use one of my very large balls of yarn because 2 rows is going to consume close to 40 or 50 grams. So like and that's a guess on my part. I'm going to have to weigh the balls of yarn and do it 1 row at a time to see how much yardage it uses up. But I don't know if I want to do that because I can't. Well, I could, I suppose. I could add a little single crochet detailing on the sleeve and around the bottom of the cardigan. I could clean up the edges with a single crochet round in that contrast color. However, I don't know if I want to add extra work on top of this project, which has already taken way longer than it should have. So I don't know, but it, we did get a bit more progress done. Ooh. Hi, Erin. So we have. I think it's got to be white all the way through. I liked the idea of the contrast, but I don't think it'll work out the way I want it to. So we're going to have one obscenely large white snuggly cardigan when we're finished, which will look great when I'm wearing them with my white leggings. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna have to wear it with dark because leg warmers, I should say. I have white leg warmers. So I have my white leg warmers. I will have my dark leggings, my dark tank top, and my very big white cardigan as my post yoga Sunday morning chillax wear, as it were. And this is huge. I'm gonna have to make sure my niece doesn't get a hold of it because, like me, she can wear white without having problems or dropping stuff on herself or spilling. We both have the magic of the white wearing capacity, so I will have to keep an eye out on that because my last very large oversized cardigan went to her for the same reasons. She put it on and loved it, and I couldn't say no because I'm an aunt. So it's fine. I'm gonna take a sip. Then we gotta talk 2 week sweater drama because oh my word. Oh my word. Bubbles. Okay. 2 week sweaters. When I say this has been a week of ripping things out. I was talking with Louise on Friday, and I'm making the Ursa. I suppose you guys probably all remember that. If you don't, I'm making the Ursa. No, there's so much white cardigan, I can't find my my 2 week sweater. Where are you? Come here. Oh my god. Ugh, such a big thing. On Friday, I was talking to Louise, and I told her that I connected in the round, but I screwed up the detailing stitch. Well, I screwed up the detailing stitch again in a different way. So at least we're making new screw ups instead of old screw ups. I cannot, I got to tank. I have to take this back again. Again, I already done it once. Oh my God. So irritated at this. I have to get it right because in bulky, you don't have the same leeway in a bulky yarn that you do in a fingering weight yarn or any of the thinner yarns for mistakes to just disappear if you fudge things up a little bit on the start of anything. You don't have that in bulky. It shows up immediately because the stitches are just so dang large. So I got mad at this yesterday when I realized I'd screwed up again. Oh joy, again. So I decided I was going to show you guys. This is pretty. We're kind of crunched up here on the rows, and that's fine. We've got our sleeves on a pair of needles. But all of my brioche stitch situation, which is a panel is too loose. Like I wasn't pulling my stitches tight enough to make it snug. And the fancy faux cable stitch is wrong, is very, very, very wrong. I can see that it is wrong because again, it's bulky stitches, so I can still see those. So I need to take back 4 rows, I think 3 or 4 rows. So I got mad. I got mad and I put this down Saturday evening when I realized that was the case. And I went, okay, I might need to take a page from Cheryl's advice to Louise about this 2 week sweater challenge. Acknowledge that I've got a bunch of extra time, I guess might be the case. And I might put this down for a couple of days, push the pause button on the 14-day sweater challenge at day 7. So Saturday night. Day 7? Yeah, day 7, because day 8 would be today. And pick up the crochet 2 week sweater challenge for a couple of days and work on it just so that I'm not angry at this when I come to tink it. Because I know I have to tink it, but I feel like I want to put this down. I need to put this down. I'm getting angry and I don't want to work on it. And I'm annoyed, mostly at myself, but I am annoyed. So I'm going to push pause at the halfway mark for the 2 week sweater challenge for the Ursa, and I'm going to take at least 2 or 3 days off and work on the crochet cardigan for a couple of days, and then I will pick this back up. I still only get 14 days to finish this, and that's fine. That's a challenge I signed up for. But I need to be able to stick this in the naughty corner for a hot second. I need a timeout on this because I am getting to the point where I'm so annoyed I just want to rip it out and not even finish it, which is insane because I like how it's knitting up. I'm just so pissed that I've screwed up this stitch twice. Once because I was doing the stitch without reversing some of the parts so that when I knit in the round it works. This time I got it right, but I was brioche purling when I should be brioche knitting, and my yarn overs were incorrect. So again, it's different type of wrong, but still very wrong. So I'm hoping you guys say that that's cool. I have to do it anyway, or I'm going to rip this and call it a loss and do something else with this yarn because I either put it down for the next 48 to 72 hours or we're ripping it and I'm saying I'm done this year's challenge. Like I cannot rip this again right now. I just no. Those are our options that we're running with. So I'm hoping everyone's okay with me taking a couple of days off and working on the coffee shop cardigan instead, which is the second 2 week challenge for the month. Because that's where we're at. Where it's one or the other, and it's the ripping. I can't stand it. I cannot stand ripping. I'm still half of a mind to just not do the Ursa at all, call it a loss, and move on and work on the coffee shop cardigan and call the Ursa just a straight up no go. And then it just didn't because I'm so pissed. I think the winter woods, while it would have been more work at worsted, I am more comfortable in color work. Whenever you put cabling or brioche into stuff, I struggle a bit more to convert it to in the round to be in reverse so that I can knit the way that I prefer. So I think maybe what I need to remember next time is that it doesn't matter if it's a bulky, if it's not color work or a simple lace or a straight up basic, I cannot do it for a 2 week sweater challenge. The fancier style stitches, brioche stitches, faux cable stitches, those sorts of things, where it is very, very specific how you do it, I have to give myself a larger window to work on it with. So I don't know 100% what I want to do yet, but I do know I got to stop. For the bare minimum, I got to stop. I got to pause it. I'm going to come back to it in a couple of days. And if I'm still absolutely like want to pitch the ball of yarn out the window annoyed, I am going to rip. I'm going to rip. I will make the Ursa at another date when I'm less annoyed with the pattern because I love the idea and I've enjoyed it so far and just go from there. I think, yes. See, Jude, you're with me. You're with me. So I'm going to set that aside and let my brain stop being rage table flippy about it, and we'll go from there because I just, oh, I'm so mad at it. I I realized I screwed it up just before D&D on Saturday, yesterday, with the group. I got on I got onto the D&D Discord chat because I call in because it's better for my health if I'm just not around many people in winter. And I sort of remember the lockdowns everyone did for the height of COVID. My doctors still prefer that I do that all the time. Fair. I am in a hell of a lot better shape health wise doing it this way. It does mean for the winter months I have to call one for D&D. So it's fine. One of our players is in Thailand. He calls in all the time. So it's fine. I just in the winter me and him hang out on Discord and chat back and forth while we're talking with the group. But I got on and I was chatting and one of the ladies at the table she has surgery next week, yeah, next no week after. And she was getting nervous and I was like, "This is not going to help you with your surgery." I'm like, "However, I'm going to send you a picture and I'm going to ask you if you can see what's wrong, even though I know you're a crocheter and this is knit." And I sent it. And she went, "Oh no, Jocelyn, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know, but I just realized I'd done this to myself, and this is my second time at it. I am so mad. I am so mad. I want to like just give up knitting. I'm so bad about it." It's a big no. So pause. Okay, we're gonna pause. If I'm still pissed with this sweater on Wednesday and what I did, I'm gonna rip. I'm going to rip, and we're just gonna call it a loss this year. Which that's saying a lot. It's a bulky cropped sweater that should not have been this much of a challenge for me this year. It was supposed to be the easy pick. We've all learned our lessons. Jocelyn can't have the easy pick. Jocelyn needs to pick the hard pick because I do better with the stronger challenges. So, okay, we'll do it. That's what I'm thinking. Aaron might be the other option. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to work on the coffee shop. If I'm still cheesed on Wednesday, I will leave it till Saturday and we can take a look at it. Because we can just pull it off the needles and I can put it on Saturday when you're around. Because while I can pick up stitches, I'm not super good at it. Sometimes I twist them and I don't realize I've done it. And we can chest fit and everything else, right, and see how it's going, and make the final call then. So however, that means coffee shop, which means we need to make some choices, which we were going to have to do next Sunday, but we're going to do this Sunday because I'm gonna get started on that. We don't want to be leaving this floating about, right? Hang on, I've been missing some messages. Should I say hi to Zubik? Zubik, I didn't say hi. Hello. She's sending me more messages. It's changing my rotation markers. Okay, now we can scroll down. Yes, please go away, little blue banner. I'm thinking you're not wrong. I don't know if I want to go fingering, but definitely we got to get back to DK weight because then I have to stay on track and no cables, no complex lace. We got to go color work or an easy repeat texture, like a slip stitch situation or like an easy peasy lace where it's like a 4-row repeat. You can memorize it, makes cute little arrowhead patterns or something. So I definitely think we can step it up, but I think color work. I really do good with color work. It is difficult, it is a challenge, but it's color work's more potato chippy to me. Like I want the next row, so I might even be inclined to sign up for. I wouldn't do like an all over color work the first year, but I'd be game to start putting a lot more color work, intense heavy ones in there. Fingering weight also an option again in the color work because I want to complete the charts. Like once I start a chart, I don't want to stop till I'm done the chart, and putting it down is hard for me. So like I think, and that's what we need to do for the 2 week sweater challenges. I gotta stop trying to be easy on myself and I gotta put my nose to the grindstone and challenge myself to do things a little bit more difficult. I tend to do better that way, which it's all a part of the process of learning, right? We've been doing How long have we been doing the sweater challenge with Louise? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, 2020, 2021. I think we've been doing this since pandemic. Did this start in the pandemic because we were both stuck at home and we said, why not? We're both stuck at home. I'd have to go check. I'd have to go check. I don't remember. That's a problem for later. I did yesterday, at the encouragement of my D&D group, swatch for the coffee shop cardigan. I own the pattern for the coffee shop cardigan. It is a striped, um, I'm going to say soccer mom, so you guys have a concept. A nice relaxed fit, striped crochet cardigan. Nothing super fancy, nothing terribly long or hard. It's a bottom up. It's supposed to be done seamlessly, so very little to no seaming. You're always going to have little touches here or there. And it's quite well written. I have read through the pattern. The bulk of the cardigan is made with what is known as an EHDC, so an extended half double crochet. It's about as complicated as the herringbone stitch, so it's not complicated at all. It's quite easy. I fell into the pattern repeat of it quite well, and I did my first wash on a 6.5mm hook, which I have right here, for my body stitches, because you need 16 stitches over 4 inches to get gauge. My row gauge is going to be off. My row gauge is always off, and I'm fine with that. I tend to get more length per row gauge than the pattern calls for. So in the case, it's the same with knitting, same crochet and knitting. I'm finding that's how my gauge swatches work. So I already know where to make some adaptations to the pattern to have the pattern fit me correctly. It also means I technically sometimes end up doing fewer rows to get the same length, right? Who's going to say no to fewer rows? So that's okay. Don't have to stay the whole time. We're happy with whatever time you guys can spare us. It's good to go. I swatched in the white Briggs and Little that I have. Am I even on frame? Yes, I'm on frame. White Briggs and Little. Sneaky. Nikki, my love, do you need that? Okay, we will find a link for you. Also, I think it's in the pattern links in the Discord thread. This is the swatch in the Barocco DK Vintage Gray. I am getting gauge on a 6.5mm needle, hook. This is crochet, hook. I need 4 stitches per inch. I am averaging 4 stitches per inch on both swatches. This is good. This is what we want. So it means I'll be using a 6-point-millimeter needle for my ribbing because you go down a hook size just like you do in needles. The question becomes color. Now the Briggs and Little is obviously scratchier. It's a bit more. It's a full on. I am a wool. That is what I am. I make no pretenses to be anything other than sheepy sheep McSheeperson, and I like it. I do like it. I can wear it next to my skin. Unlike my foundation, it doesn't bother me. The Barocco Vintage is wool acrylic blend. So it is a softer. I'm not noticing much in the way of like a drape shift between either one of the two. So as far as bases, they'll both do great as the neutral color. The debate comes in my contrast stripes. So we're going to go over my contrast stripes. I got to tap my screen every once in a while or it's going to go dark and then I don't get your guys' comments. Oh my gosh. We're well checking in with Susanna. Okay. It's good. I was going to ask, but I was going to save it till after. Well, we wait for Susanna to give us an update. I wanted to use skeins of yarn from the stash because we're doing a collection curation process. And I had a bunch of the dinosaur yarn club from last year in a DK base. Will I end up using all of these colors? Probably not. I pulled extra color because I have to add length because of my height. Are we seeing everything? Like I need to use my body to keep this up. So we pulled these. We talked about colors. I think they'll work great for colors. What comes down to is a texture difference. So much yarn. Actually, let's do this. So here's like sort of our medley. It's in my hair. This is sort of our medley of colors to work with. Am I even on frame? I don't know where I am. Where am I? There I am. Guys, my camera is so far away from me, I don't even know where it is. So, like, if I'm even looking at you guys every once in a blue moon, we are so nailing it out of the park right now. I like these colors. I like how they work together. The question becomes, if we go with the vintage DK in the gray, that's a very muted color shift. But it is a closer texture feel. So I won't feel the difference between the striped color and the base main color because they are quite similar in softness. If we go with the Briggs and Little white yarn, I will absolutely feel the texture difference between the two yarns because they're very different yarns. But we will have a stronger color contrast, so the stripes will pop more. That's the question. Do we want a slightly more muted palette? Which, do note, I am rocking a lot of wild, bright colored skirts because I am, and patterned, strongly patterned dresses or capris and tank tops. So we either have very strong jewel tone colors or very neutrally colors. Those are the color palettes I run with. So if we go with the white Briggs and Little yarn, it will be slightly limiting as to what I can wear it with. The darker color spectrum opens up a few more pairing options within the wardrobe. So I need to make the decision today. Oh, did you find it? Oh, I made a project page. Like I've been making project pages this year. They don't have photos. The notes are sketchy, but I'm at least 50-50 with the project page now. I'm getting better. We're making improvements. Thank you, Asa. I don't know if I started the coffee shop Cardi project page or not. I can't remember. I don't think I have because technically I started this project at like 10 o'clock last night. So making a project page will be on the list for today. What I need to know and what I need some help deciding is, do I want a softer, more muted palette, or do we want to screw softer, muted palettes, color contrast all the way? That's the decision. That's the decision. The grays are going to be a softer, everything's going to blend a bit better. This is going to be, oh no, we can know they're stripes. We can tell that they're stripes, and this will stick out. Am I worried about the white? No, no, no. I have something like 4 or 5 white cardigans. I have commercial white cardigans that have been white for a decade plus. I have, uh, how even old is my white winter coat? My white winter coat's in double digits. It's so old and it's still white. So the white part isn't what I'm worried about. It's the strength of the contrast and the feeling or texture difference between the stripes. That's the question. Oh, geez, Susanna. Whew. See, that's the thing, right, Jude? It's the texture thing. Like, do I want the more similar texture? Which would be nice. Because then you get that same feel all the way through. You know what I mean? With the white, I wouldn't. There's going to be a very distinct textural difference between the two because the Briggs and Little has definitely got more of a rustic yarn. It's definitely of a rustic yarn compared to a smoother yarn. No project page for the coffee shop yet? Okay, I didn't think there was, but I wasn't 100% sure. Hang on, let me not look at you guys some more. I've got the windows open, so if you see me squinting, because I have to get lower than the my light sensitivity makes my life so intriguing. So terrible. Okay, let's do this. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. I can help you guys out. Let's get Nikki a link. Let's get Nikki a link, shall we? Ravelry. Ravelry. Ravelry, open up. You're so mean, Ravelry. Oh, I'm with you, Susanna. I hope you feel better soon. Feeling poorly just sucks. Coffee shop card. I think like that my fear, Erin, right, is like the texture difference would be a lot, right? And that's going to be a problem, like, because if it's too much, I won't want to wear it, obviously. So then it's like, oh, Is it what I want to do? I don't know. I should not have done that. I should have spelt it correctly. Okay, the coffee shop cardigan is by Lee